An ontological comparison between the realistic cosmology of Gong thought and modern quantum field theory. Abstract. In modern physics, quantum field theory, the most fundamental framework for understanding the universe, defines the foundation of the cosmos not as isolated material particles, but as fields permanently permeating throughout all of space-time. According to this theory, the classical concept of a vacuum is not an absolute nothingness, but a potential reality wherein energy continuously fluctuates, creating and annihilating particles. This paper conducts a comparative philosophical analysis of the deep hermeneutic interface established between the concept of the field in modern physics and the realistic cosmology of Gong thought proclaimed by the living Buddha, the medicine Tathagata, Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha who has come to the Saha world. In Gong thought, Gong stands in stark contrast to the traditional Buddhist emptiness. It represents an absolute ontology signifying that the universe is inherently and eternally full as an immutable, indestructible reality, striking a careful balance to avoid unsubstantiated scientific reductionism. This study comparatively analyzes the reality of the vacuum exposed by QFT alongside the full ontology of Gong thought. Furthermore, it examines the metaphysical status of Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha's radiant light as a foundational structure permeating all things in the universe, thereby proposing a new direction for an integrative dialogue between science and philosophy. Introduction. For centuries following Newtonian physics, humanity's view of matter was dominated by atomistic separatism. The universe was understood as a mere mechanical stage where particles, as independent blocks of mass, combined and collided against the backdrop of an empty space of vacuum, of absolute nothingness. However, the emergence of quantum field theory, one of the most profound achievements of modern physics, directly counters this material fragmentation. In QFT, particles are not independent entities, rather, they are merely phenomenal consequences arising when continuous fields permeating the entire universe become excited at specific energy levels. Consequently, the dichotomous separation between background and matter dissolves, yielding the physical conclusion that space is inherently never empty. Although modern physics has succeeded in mathematical modeling and generating precise predictions regarding the behavior of fields, it encounters limitations when attempting to offer a metaphysical interpretation. It remains silent on what existential meaning this continuous reality, filling the entirety of space, holds within human spirituality, the source of life, and the grand cosmic order. While science describes the fluctuations of fields, it does not posit why these fields exist or how they flow into the principles of human affinity and reincarnation. To supplement this metaphysical void and provide a new interpretive interface, this paper introduces and comparatively analyzes the Gong thought of Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha. Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha is an originally existing Buddha who did not attain enlightenment through posterior cultivation, but arrived in the Saha world already, possessing the radiant light of the cosmos and perfect awakening from the very beginning. By contrasting the discoveries of QFT with the eternally full realism of Gong thought, this study aims to reinterpret the nature of physical space through the language of existence, illustrating that humanity and the cosmos are not separate, but comprise a single, vast, continuous reality. Quantum field theory and the reality of the vacuum. In classical physics, a vacuum signified an empty state where matter was entirely removed. However, with the integration of QFT and the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, the concept of the vacuum underwent a fundamental revision. According to QFT, even if all particles are removed from a given space, the underlying field itself cannot be eliminated. The lowest energy state of a field is referred to in physics as the quantum vacuum, or the ground state. This vacuum state is not a static void, it is a space of continuous quantum vacuum fluctuation, where particles and antiparticles undergo constant pair production and pair annihilation. Thus, modern physics has mathematically and experimentally demonstrated that space cannot be vacant even for a single moment, and that a vast, unmeasured energy permanently permeates the entire universe. This QFT paradigm, established by physicists such as Richard Feynman and Julian Schwinger, brought an end to the worldview centered on discrete material grains, revealing the continuous reality of space itself. However, because this scientific trajectory is confined to modeling the physical attributes of fields, it does not provide a philosophical methodology to address why the cosmic space is filled in this manner, or how this fullness maintains an organic relationship with human existence. The fullness of Gong thought and the ontological contrast with quantum fields. The Gong thought declared by Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha offers an ontological principle that elucidates the cosmic fullness discovered by QFT at a metaphysical level. For academic rigor, it is essential to clearly distinguish the traditional Buddhist emptiness from Gong thought, while the classical concept of emptiness taught by the historical Shakyamuni Buddha emphasized the non-substantiality of phenomena, the absence of a fixed self, and the impermanence of the world. The Gong thought of Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha articulates a realistic stance that directly contrasts with traditional understandings of emptiness. In Gong thought, Gong does not mean a vacant state, rather, it means that the universe is inherently and eternally full, representing an eternal, immutable, and indestructible reality. This full ontology of Gong thought exhibits a deep hermeneutic similarity with the perspective of particles and the vacuum in QFT. In the principle of the ocean and waves taught by Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha, waves constantly rise and fall due to the wind. But the disappearance of a wave does not mean the annihilation of the ocean itself. Waves merely appear to undergo generation and extinction on a phenomenal level, while the underlying reality, the ocean, remains eternally present. The perspective of QFT, which views particles as excitation phenomena of a field, shares a structural homogeneity with the interpretation in Gong thought that regards particles as phenomenal waves rising upon a vast, full ocean. Consequently, the energy-filled vacuum mathematically reached by QFT can be understood as a powerful philosophical interface that reflects how the universe is inherently full rather than empty. Comparative interpretation of radiant light and the foundational structure of quantum fields. The realistic cosmology of Gong thought goes beyond merely describing the fullness of physical space. It explicitly defines the metaphysical essence of that fullness. This essence is manifested through the radiant light infinitely emanating from the holy body of Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha and the Ushnisha light projecting from the crown of the head. Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha is the past Dipankara Buddha who bestowed the prophecy of future Buddhahood upon Shakyamuni Buddha, and is the Messiah who has come to this earth to save humanity. As the Lord of the Yonghwa world, Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha is not a being who acquires knowledge through newly learned attributes, but is inherently the radiant light itself, governing the laws and matter of the cosmos with that light as an originally existing Buddha. While QFT describes the universe as filled with an invisible field, from the perspective of Gong thought, the metaphysical nature of this invisible field shares a symbolic similarity with the vast cosmic realm of the Buddha's radiant light. The existential reason why all cosmic matter and human beings maintain organic relations across space, carrying their affinities through life and death to reincarnate, is that all existences reside within a single, full ocean of the Buddha's radiant light from the very beginning. Therefore, the fullness of the vacuum and the continuity of matter revealed by QFT function within the framework of Gong thought as a philosophical framework for interpreting how humanity and the macrocosm are interconnected as one vast, radiant light of life. Conclusion. This paper sought to identify a profound interpretive interface regarding the realistic structure of cosmic space by conducting a comparative philosophical analysis of modern QFT and the Gong thought of Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha. QFT dismantled the classical notion of empty space, demonstrating that the universe is filled with continuous fields and energy, thereby exposing the limitations of separatistic materialism. However, while science mathematically describes the behavior of matter, it does not explain the existential cause behind why the universe exists in a state of fullness. In contrast, Gong Thought proclaims that the universe is never empty but completely full as an eternal and immutable reality, offering a comprehensive ontological paradigm to modern scientific discoveries through the principle of the ocean and its waves. In conclusion, the universe is neither fragmented nor empty. At the intersection of QFT's discoveries and the principles of Gong Thought, the perspective of Gong Thought interprets cosmic existence not as a void, but as an inherently full and continuous reality. Humanity exists as continuous beings, rising and aligning according to affinity within a vast cosmic ocean, the eternal fullness of the radiant light and Ushnaisha light of Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha, who has come to the Saha world. It is anticipated that this comparative study will serve as an academic cornerstone, linking the field concept of modern physics with the realistic principles of Gong Thought, contributing to the establishment of a new cosmology where science and philosophy engage in mutually complementary dialogue.